Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a good day today. Today, I want to talk about a certain feature that is missing out of the Battlefield franchise, at least for the past 2 games, that I would love to see make a return into Battlefield 2042. Now, there's been a laundry list of different features that have been announced for this next game, whether it's the AI bots fighting alongside players, you have the climate apocalypse that's going to be happening within the game as you're playing, whether it's the tornado, the sandstorm, or so many other things, or even the demolition when it comes to blowing up buildings and blowing up the environment, the changes that you can create with that. Again, there's a lot of stuff that are making announcements for what this game is going to be having when it first releases. Now, one thing that has not been announced, and I doubt it's ever going to be announced, I don't know if they ever plan on bringing this back, but at least chronologically between the games, between Battlefield 2142 and Battlefield 4, when it comes to more futuristic and as well as when it comes to modern, Battlefield 2042 is just in that straight middle between these 2 games that had this one feature, which was the commander mode or the commander role in this game. Now, I want to talk to you guys about my argument on why I would love to see this make a return. We're also going to go over what the commander mode is, because there might be players out there that have never heard of it. Maybe you never played Battlefield 4, maybe you never played Battlefield 2 or 2142 and have no idea what this commander role I guess does, because you've always known the 4 basic ones, whether it's the medic, support, recon, or engineer, but this commander role actually gives a little bit more of a different play style. Maybe you don't want to play those other 4 roles, but you want to do something else, or maybe you're not at your PC, you're not at your console, but you still want to be involved in the game. You still want to be earning XP. You still want to have an influence on the game. Well, in Battlefield 4, there was actually a capability of being able to play this commander mode app on your phone and on your Android. Now, this is something that I want to talk about. I want to give my argument about, because I like this idea of the commander being able to issue out different commands, building up points, giving out UAVs, getting some intel on where the enemy movements are at, as well as you even dropping a Predator missile or even a gunship in Battlefield 4. I think it was a really great idea that they introduced, not only in the older games, but actually made, at least in my point of view, improvements in Battlefield 4 that I think really did a great job of being able to make it a little bit more user-friendly when it comes to being able to play it on your PC, or when you're away, being able to play it on your phone. So let's get into it. Let me make my argument, and hopefully people agree with me, maybe not. But again, like I said, this is something that was brought back into Battlefield 4, but in previous Battlefield games, so Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 2142, this was an actual role included with the original 4, medic, engineer, support, and yada yada. This was an actual commander role that was actually issued out to the highest ranking player in Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 2142 in the lobby. The highest ranking player, highest ranking, whatever player on each team became the commander if they chose to, which would issue out commands, pushing out, different information on enemy movement and stuff like that, recons and stuff like that, which was a really cool way being able to give it an additional role and still add in a lot of different things into the game. Well, that was actually removed in Battlefield 3, but brought back into Battlefield 4 in a different way. In the older games, in Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 2142, it was a boots on the ground role, just similar to the classic 4. However, in Battlefield 4, they removed the boots on the ground thing, but you were still able to play this role from like a command center type style of combat, where you'd be able to see the entire map, you'd be able to see the capture points and conquest, and you'd be able to issue out commands of capturing this point, capturing that point, and you would actually earn different points depending on if your squads were actually capturing these objectives or earning points, to where you could actually issue out an UAV and gain intel on the enemy movements, or even up to the point where you'd be able to launch a Predator missile. You'd be able to give a gunship to your team to be able to use in the game, whether it's firing missiles and the machine guns on the gunship, or actually using it as a airdrop, being able to parachute into the game through this gunship. Again, it was a really cool, different type of role or mode in the game that would allow players to be able to play something different if they didn't want to do like their regular classic 4 roles, or actually even just play the game. Maybe they wanted to do something else on the meantime, but they still wanted to play a game and still have some type of influence and gain some type of XP. Well, in Battlefield 4, it was reintroduced as something like that, where you weren't actually playing in the game. But I will say this as a caveat to the entire thing of the argument, oh, I'd love to see this return. It was actually discontinued in Battlefield 4. I don't know exactly what the reason why this was. They brought it in as something that you could play on the PC, and you could also play it on Android and iPhone. However, later on, they actually discontinued it. So it was definitely a sad thing to me, because I remember playing this thing on my app, you know, whether it was I was at work or at school or wherever it might be, I would still be able to play Battlefield 4 on my iPad or my iPhone and be able to enjoy the game, gain XP, and still have an influence on the game, even though I'm not at my console. So it's a really cool aspect that they were able to do in this thing. And honestly, look, when it comes to advancing technology, this was 6 years ago, 2014, 2015, 6 years ago, where this was dropped and kind of not an available thing to play anymore now. But honestly, with the advanced technology that we have with iPhones and iPads and Androids and all these other things, this is something I could definitely see happening again with how powerful our phones are nowadays, with the advancing in technology 6 years ago, you know, from what our iPhones were back in the day. So again, this is something that I really could see happen, to where if players want to play the game, but they're away from their console, this commander role is something that would bring players into the game and have fun, even though they can't play at their console or at their PC. So let's get into what the commander role is, because again, this is something I thought was a very fun role to play, even though maybe you don't want to play the classic 4, you don't want to play, you know, for the first-person shooter game, even though that's all it is, but maybe you want to do something else and influence a battle that way. So the commander mode makes it long. Okay, so we'll get into that. So Battlefield 4 tablet commanders available on iOS. So this is announcing everything. So as a commander, you will be able to see your teammates' performance and guide them in each match. Pass down information, attack orders to squad leaders, allow them to disperse it to their squads. Depending on how your team does, you can provide them with certain assets. So becoming a commander. Before becoming a commander, you must reach the rank of 10. So something that actually has to play a little bit of the multiplayer in Battlefield 4. And again, this info is coming out of Battlefield 4. There's no information whatsoever about a commander mode coming to Battlefield 2142 or 2042. Geez, the numbers, my God. But I'm just wanting to post this information of saying, look, this is what the commander role was in Battlefield 4. I thought it was a really cool idea, and it would make a really cool return in this game since we didn't have it in 1 or 5. So let's get into it. So going off of that. So after reaching the required rank, select commander join on a server and blah, blah, blah. So you would reach this high rank of 10, which is not really that high, but it would give you the capacity and capability of being able to select this commander role if it wasn't already filled. Now, sometimes the commander role would be filled and you wouldn't be able to play as the commander, but if it was a vacant slot on a server, you'd be able to join and be that commander role. So playing as the commander, there are 3 levels to being a commander in Battlefield. Intel gathering, update the team on whereabouts of the enemy squads and vehicles, supply, keep the team stocked up with ammo and vehicle drops, and all-out offense, launch Tomahawk missiles and provide gunship strikes for the team. So squad asset bar. So when your squad works together, as we are awarding, as they are awarded squad score, all your commander scores contribute to the squad assist bar, with which you can award your squads with assists. When a squad assist is deployed, the squad assist bar will be drained. The amount of the drain depends on the deploy. Okay, so this is pretty much just talking about how the assist and how you gain points to be able to use assets and stuff like that. So most assets need a cooldown period before they can be used. When the assets are deployed tactically or be used by the team, they increase the commander score. The assets overview displays all the assets that are available in mission and distinguish between those that are currently being accessed or to those that gain access to. It also displays the amount of time that left until you can actually deploy. So again, there was cooldown time, so there were points being gained as the commander. There's different points, different ways of being able to gain points to be able to unlock different abilities in game as a commander that you'd be able to utilize. However, there was cooldowns, there were different things to be able to kind of tamper down at least a little bit of the power that the commander had. So assets fall into 3 different categories. Default, always available to the commander using gathering information and denying enemies information. Squad, earned by commander scoring. Score assets allow you to award squads with equipment and increase squad progression. Or objective, various between the missions contain powerful means for gathering and denying enemy information, as well as providing your team with equipment and directly attacking the enemy team. So the default assets, you had the scan UAV, enemy EMP UAV, so where maybe there's an enemy commander, you would be able to EMP them so they wouldn't actually be able to see what the battlefield was. High value target, you'd be able to distinguish one individual individual to attack and go after and kill, and that would actually give you a little bit more points if that target was eliminated. Evac order, warn ally soldiers in the area of incoming danger, so that's another one. And then order, give an order to a squad leader to either attack or defend an objective. Squad assets, so promoting a squad, promote your squad. So again, that's another thing that you would be able to do, promote squads and help them increase XP gain that way. Squad supply, deploy crate via parachute with automatically heals and gives ammo to nearby soldiers. Allied soldiers can also switch kits by interacting with the crate. So again, that's another thing that would be a really great thing to be able to interact with. But again, I know Battlefield 2042 is going a different route when it comes to attachments and stuff like that. So maybe the supply drop can just be for weapons and different, I guess like explosives and stuff like that, frag grenades and whatnot. Rapid deployment, reduce the effect squad deployment time. So again, you'd be able to deploy much faster. Vehicle drop. So this would be, you would be, deploying quad bikes, vehicles and stuff like that. I don't actually know if it would be tanks or not, but at least in here that says personal watercraft and stuff like that. So maybe just small things that the vehicle drop would be able to do. Now this is the cool stuff, and this is the objective assets. So this is stuff that you're gaining, they're playing the objective and stuff like that, and you're gaining points from there. So infantry scan, spot all enemies soldiers on the minimap. So again, that's a really helpful thing to your team. Vehicle scan, spot all enemy vehicles on the minimap. Cruise missile, launch a cruise missile at an area and destroying all enemies in the area. Who the hell would not love something like that? Now, I know at least in Battlefield 5, they went somewhat of a way towards there where you could like launch a V1 or V2 rocket and stuff like that. But again, I love this commander role because it gives you a little bit more things to do. Lastly, it's a gunship. Deploy an AC-130 gunship. When the gunship is deployed, it will circle the base that it is tied to. Your team can deploy in that gunship or to parachute from it. So also, it gives a thing about mutiny. If the commander's not doing so well, there can be a mutiny. They can vote to remove the commander. So that's some of the things that the commander was able to do to not only build up XP gains for themselves, but also help and increase the chances of winning to victory for their team through the different things that they were able to do by UAV, Predator gunship, gunship, the cruise missile, stuff like that. So again, there was a lot of things that the commander role could do. And this was the last time we saw it. In Battlefield 4, this was the last time we've seen it in a modern Battlefield game. Battlefield 1, we didn't see it. Battlefield 5, we didn't see it. And I would love to see it make a return. And also, too, chronologically, in Battlefield 4, this commander role was available. Battlefield 2142, they had a commander role. So why not in Battlefield 2042? So again, I think it's a really great role. I think it's a really cool thing to be able to utilize, not only being able to play a different role. If you don't want to play the original classic, 4, and you don't want to play, actual, boots on the ground and stuff like that, or you have the thing where you can play it on your phone, you can be away from your console at work, at school, or whatever, and still be able to contribute to the team and also gain XP for yourself. So just wanted to go over the aspects of the commander role. I wanted to talk about reasons why I would love to see it. I think it'd be a great thing to keep people locked in on Battlefield, to keep eyes on it, and to continue to get people involved in the game, whether that's playing at their console or playing on their phone or away from the console. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the commander role. Let me know in the comments below as well, would you like to see this return? So let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please have a great rest of the day, and I look forward to talking to you guys all next time.